You studied English for years. You know hundreds of words. You understand the grammar. But the moment someone speaks to you in English, your mind goes completely blank. You open your mouth and nothing comes out. If that has ever happened to you, this episode is going to change everything.
Welcome back to Speak English with Mounir. I'm Camille, and I'm here with your host, Mounir, and today we are talking about something that every single English learner has experienced, but almost nobody fully understands.
That moment, that horrible, freezing moment when you know what you want to say in your own language, but in English, it is just completely gone. And today, we're going to break down exactly why that happens inside your brain, and more importantly, exactly how to fix it.
Leaning in, personal and warm, and before we dive in, I just want to say if this happens to you, you are not stupid, you are not bad at languages, and you are absolutely not alone. This happens to almost every learner, even the advanced ones, and there is a real scientific reason behind it.
So let's start with the why, because once you understand why your brain freezes, the solution becomes obvious. Camille, do you remember the first time your brain completely froze in English?
Laughing at the memory, slightly embarrassed. Oh, do I remember? I was at a conference and someone asked me a very simple question. What do you think about this? And I stood there, completely silent for what felt like an entire minute while my brain was desperately searching for words that I absolutely knew in my head, and I could not get a single one out. It was mortifying.
And that is exactly what we're talking about, because you knew the answer, you knew the words, but something stopped them from coming out. And that something has a name. It's called the freeze response, and it's the same thing that happens when an animal is in danger and goes completely still. Your brain, under pressure, triggers a stress response that actually temporarily shuts down the part of the brain responsible for language production.
Wait, so it's literally a biological response? It's not just nerves, it's actually your brain physically stopping your speech?
Exactly. The amygdala, the part of your brain that handles fear and stress, sends a signal that floods your body with cortisol. And cortisol, the stress hormone, actually interrupts the prefrontal cortex, which is where language processing happens. So in that moment, you're not forgetting English. Your brain is physically being blocked from accessing it.
That's honestly both terrifying and a relief at the same time because it means it's not a failure of intelligence, it's a failure of the system under pressure.
Powerfully, exactly. And here's the key thing. When you speak your native language, you've spoken it for so many thousands of hours that it lives in a completely different part of your brain. It's in what we call long-term procedural memory, the same place where riding a bike lives. You don't think about it, it just happens. But English, for most learners, still lives in a different part of the brain, the conscious working memory, which is much smaller, much slower, and the first thing to shut down under stress.
So that's why it feels so effortful and so fragile because we're using a completely different mental system to speak English than we use to speak our first language.
Perfectly said. And this is why fluency, real fluency, isn't about knowing more words. It's about moving English from your conscious brain to your automatic brain, from effortful to effortless. And that's exactly what our 5 strategies do.
Okay, I love this. Let's go through them. Strategy number 1.
Strategy number 1. Flood your brain with comprehensible input every single day. This is the foundation of everything. Your brain learns to speak English automatically only after it has heard enough natural English to recognize patterns without thinking. And the key word there is comprehensible, meaning English you can understand about 80% of. Not too easy, not too hard. Think podcasts, series, YouTube videos, anything where you understand most of it but still encounter new things regularly.
And what really worked for me was making this completely passive, meaning I listened to English while doing other things, cooking, commuting, walking, because the brain absorbs language even when you're not actively studying it.
Exactly. And this is how children learn their first language, not by studying grammar, but by being surrounded by it until it becomes automatic. You're literally rewiring your brain every time you do this, building new neural pathways that will eventually make English feel natural.
Strategy 2.
Strategy 2. Talk to yourself in English every day. This one sounds strange, but it is scientifically one of the most powerful things you can do. When you narrate your day in English, even in your head, you are activating the language production pathways in your brain in a low-pressure environment. No one is judging you. No one is watching, and that absence of pressure is exactly what lets the language flow freely.
I did this all the time when I was improving. I would walk around my apartment describing everything I was doing out loud in English, and my family genuinely thought I was going crazy.
But it works, because the more times your brain successfully produces English in a zero-pressure environment, the more it learns that English production is safe, and it becomes less likely to trigger that freeze response when the pressure is real.
Strategy 3, and this one is my personal favorite.
Strategy 3. Embrace the pause. One of the biggest reasons people freeze is because they believe that pausing in a conversation means they have failed, so they panic, and the panic makes the freeze worse. But here's the truth. Native speakers pause too, all the time, for thinking, for emphasis, for finding the right word. The difference is, they are comfortable with the pause.
And when you become comfortable with the pause, everything changes. Because instead of the pause triggering panic, it becomes a tool. You pause, you breathe, you find the word, and you continue. And nobody in the conversation even notices.
Exactly. And you can even fill the pause naturally the way native speakers do, with small filler phrases like, "That's a good question," or "Let me think about that," or "You know what?" These phrases buy you 3 to 5 seconds of completely natural-sounding time to find your words.
That is such a practical tip. Okay, strategy 4.
Strategy 4. Lower the stakes deliberately. The freeze happens under pressure, so the antidote is to create regular situations where you speak English, but the stakes are extremely low. Language exchange apps, online communities, even just commenting in English on a YouTube video. Every time you use English in a low-stakes situation, you're training your brain to associate English production with safety, not danger. And over time, that association transfers to higher-stakes situations too.
Because confidence is not built in big moments, it's built in hundreds of small moments where you prove to yourself that you can do it.
Beautifully said. And that brings us to Strategy 5, which ties everything together.
Strategy 5.
Strategy 5. Build a phrase bank, not a word bank. Most learners try to memorize individual words, but the brain doesn't speak in individual words. It speaks in chunks, in phrases, in patterns. So instead of memorizing the word apologize, memorize the whole phrase, "I'm really sorry about that. That's completely my fault." Instead of memorizing disagree, memorize, "I see where you're coming from, but I actually think..." When you store complete phrases, your brain doesn't have to build sentences from scratch. It just retrieves and delivers automatically.
Wow, that is exactly why some people sound so natural so quickly. They're not thinking in words, they're thinking in ready-made phrases that they've practiced until they're automatic.
Exactly. And when phrases become automatic, the freeze response has nothing to attack, because there's no conscious effort happening. The brain is just playing back something it already knows perfectly.
So to bring it all together, your brain freezes because English is not yet in your automatic memory. And the way to move it there is comprehensible input every day, self-talk with no pressure, embracing the pause as a tool, lowering the stakes consistently, and building a phrase bank, not a word bank.
And none of these strategies require talent. They require only consistency. The brain is not fixed, it's plastic, meaning it rewires itself based on what you do repeatedly. Every day that you practice, you are literally building new pathways that make English more automatic, more natural, more effortless.
And I want to say something to anyone listening who feels embarrassed by the freeze or who has avoided speaking English because of the fear of it happening. The freeze is not a sign that you can't do this. It's a sign that you haven't yet done it enough times for your brain to feel safe. That's all. And the solution is just more reps in lower pressure environments until your brain learns that English is safe.
And that is exactly what this podcast is for. Every conversation we have here, every phrase you hear and repeat is one more rep that builds that safety, builds that automaticity, builds the version of you that speaks English without even thinking about it.
Now, let's go through our vocabulary section, because today we used some really powerful words that are worth understanding deeply.
Vocabulary section. Freeze up. To suddenly be unable to speak or think clearly because of stress or fear. For example, every time someone speaks fast, I completely freeze up and can't respond.
Trigger, something that causes a reaction or response, often automatic and unconscious. For example, speaking in front of people is a trigger for my brain freeze.
Mental block, a psychological barrier that stops you from thinking or speaking clearly. For example, I had a mental block and couldn't remember the word even though I knew it perfectly.
Fluency, the ability to speak a language naturally and easily without stopping to think. For example, real fluency comes from practice, not from memorizing more grammar rules.
Rewire, to change the way the brain works through repeated practice and new habits. For example, every time you practice speaking, you rewire your brain to make English more automatic.
Autopilot, doing something automatically without conscious effort or thought. For example, native speakers speak on autopilot. They don't think about grammar while they talk.
Comfort zone, the familiar safe space where you feel no anxiety or pressure. For example, to grow in English, you have to step outside your comfort zone regularly.
Phrase bank, a personal collection of complete, ready-to-use phrases in a language. For example, building a phrase bank is faster than learning individual words one by one.
Those are 8 powerful words that will help you talk about language learning with real depth and clarity. And now, the challenge for this episode. This week, every single day, I want you to talk to yourself in English for just 2 minutes. Describe what you are doing, what you're thinking, what you see around you. 2 minutes a day, every day this week. And then come back and tell us in the comments, what did you notice? Did it get easier? Did you freeze less? We're going to read every single comment and respond to as many as we can.
Because your progress is the whole point of everything we do here. Subscribe so you never miss a new episode, and we'll see you next time.
Keep practicing, keep showing up, and remember, your brain is not broken. It just needs more reps. See you next time.
Bye-bye, everyone. Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.